Hi, I'm Ross Barefoot with the Search Engine Academy. I'm going to tell you about how to get one of the world's best SEO and customer research tools absolutely free. Before I do that, I'd like to ask you to remember, please like this video and subscribe if you value free tips on how to get trained in digital marketing. What I'm going to talk about today is a great suite of programs actually by Google that we use and teach about in our workshops all the time. I also use it in my day-to-day digital marketing consulting work. I'm the chief SEO strategist with an agency in Las Vegas called Horizon Web Marketing. This suite of tools is called the Google Search Console, and you may have heard of it before. It was originally designed for webmasters. But don't let that stop you if you're a business owner or a marketing manager. The Search Console is not just an SEO tool. It's also a terrific market research tool. It's even a business improvement tool. But although the Search Console is free, you do have to pay a price to use it. That price is it can be a little intimidating to get set up if you're not used to it and if you don't have anybody to help you out. So it requires a bit of your time to learn how to do that, and that's why you're watching this video, right? So the video is designed to show you how to get started with Search Console, even if you have minimal experience with managing a website. I'll make it as painless as possible. I'll even use plain business English. So let's get started. So let's get right into the heart of this presentation, getting started with Google Search Console. We're not going to do an in-depth tutorial as to how you can get what you need out of Search Console. This is basically just about setup, but we will talk a little bit about what Google Search Console is, how to add your website to it, or really how to add it to your website, how to verify a WordPress site, and that's going to be our example just because WordPress is the dominant platform and there's different ways of verification. So we're going to use WordPress for our example. And then we'll also talk about where to find instructions for other verification methods. First of all, what it is. Well, the Search Console was designed to help webmasters make their sites more friendly to Google, and also to allow webmasters to give some limited feedback to Google about their sites and to update Google about certain things that would help both parties. Also, and very importantly, the Search Console alerts webmasters to problems Google is having in being able to access the site. And that's, of course, very important if you want your site to show up in search. Now, for all these things, notice how we use the word webmaster over and over again. So the natural question that follows, does that mean this tool is just for webmasters? In a word, no, it doesn't. And that's the reason for being able to give non-tech business people some sort of an idea how they can set it up as well. The reason is because the Search Console shows you what people were searching on that brought them to your website. And in turn, what that does is gives you insight into the wants of your audience and into the way your targeted consumers are thinking, which is, of course, very valuable to any business or any organization. Plus, it will show you where your website is not connecting with searchers who may see it in search results, who will see it but then choose not to visit you, and it'll give you some insight as to why and how to take action on that. And it can do that by giving you these ideas for changing your marketing messages to perform better online. But in order to use it, you do need to set it up. Now, here's what you're going to need. First of all, very basic, you need a Google account. If you have Gmail, you have a Google account. If you're uncertain, go to accounts.google.com and try to log in with whatever you have. And sometimes even a non-Gmail address will be tied to a Google account. If you don't have one, go ahead and create one that you can use. Now, the other component of this is you need a website that you control. And presumably, you have a website that you either own or manage, and therefore that you have control or that you can gain control over. In order to show that you have control over the website, and that the whole point of this is Google wants you to prove that you are authorized to act upon a website before you start using Search Console with it. And you can do that in a variety of ways. Now, you need full access to any of the following, not to all of the following, to any. One of the things could be full access to the Google Analytics account that is running on the website, assuming that one is. The other is a Google Tag Manager account. The other is if you have an FTP connection to your website's document route. Now, here we're getting a little techie, so bear with me because we're not going to stay in this tech realm if you're starting to get lost here. You also, and here's another technical term, you may understand this, you may not. Also, if you have cPanel access for your website or equivalent, then you're good to go. Finally, and here we come back to the example we're using, if you have WordPress and you have administrative access, that means you can go to your WordPress, log in, see the dashboard, and act upon it as an administrator, then you're good to go. So let's get started. Log into your Google account. And then go here, search.google.com/search-console. Now, I'll warn you, if you are not logged into Google and you type Search Console with a slash after it, at least as of today, you're going to get an error. So try to type it in exactly as I have it up here. If you already have a GSC account set up for any website, you're going to get one screen, but if you don't have GSC set up, you'll get another. And the reason I give you the difference is because some people sometimes have access to Google Search Console, maybe that their webmaster set up or an administrative assistant or something, they don't even realize it. So if you already have GSC set up for at least one domain, you log into your Google account and you go to that address that I gave you, it's going to look something like this. And you'll notice that it has that word overview at the top. That's going to be the screen that greets you. If, however, you're logged into your Google account, but you've never set up a GSC property, in other words, a website, it's going to look like this. Now, one final bit of knowledge, and that is that there are usually several versions of any website. I'm going to tell you this information, then later I'll show you how we're going to use it very shortly. For example, it might start like this, http://mywebsite.com. Or it might be the same thing, but with HTTPS, which is more and more the dominant form because it's secure. Although you may also have either the non-secure form without the S with a www, or the secure form with the S and with a www. Or you might have something really funky like a subdomain. For example, shop.mywebsite.com, or something even farther into left field, www.shop.mywebsite.com. Those are called subdomains. The www, the shop, all those are subdomains. Now, all of these examples I have up here, they all have a common domain. That domain is mywebsite.com. So please remember that terminology. The domain is that portion, the portion to the left and to the right of the last period. Now, there's a new choice in setting up Google Search Console, and this is new as of March 2019, the month I'm making this video. And now you've got these two little boxes when you go to Search Console. This is very, very new. And one says domain, the other says URL prefix. Well, if you choose the box on the right, which is the one that's highlighted with kind of a bluish gray, you need, and notice I have you need in quotes, you need to set the following up separately. That is, all those variants that I showed you before. Each one would have to be set up in a separate process, theoretically, if you wanted to get data on each of them. Now, typically you don't really need to, because often you'll get everything you need by setting up your primary version of your domain, and I'll show you in a second a real easy way to figure out which one is the primary version. Now, if you choose the box on the left, the one that says domain, it's really cool because it'll set up all those other versions right away, and you only need to set up mywebsite.com. So why don't we do that? Well, setting up the box on the left is more difficult. So I'm going to be showing you how to set up using the box on the right. We're not going to set up every variant of your domain. You know, all those ones, www, shop, and so on and so forth. We're not going to be setting all those up. We're just going to be setting the primary one up. Let's move forward. And we're going to be using a demonstration domain that I often use for these particular videos that I produce. It's called artisansofcolorado.com. And now is when we break out of our PowerPoint slides and we go over to an actual web browser, and we're going to take a look at it here. This is one screen you also might get if you go to Search Console and you are not logged into any Google account. Now, first of all, remember I said we need to find the dominant version of your domain. And our domain is Artisans of Colorado. The easiest way to do that is type the domain up at the top. Okay, you see where I have it right here highlighted, artisansofcolorado.com. I haven't typed in www or HTTP or anything like that, and hit the enter key, and now see what it changes to. See how it changed up here to https://www.artisansofcolorado? That should be the primary version of the domain, and that's the one that we're going to add to Google Search Console. Let's go back to this screen. Remember where we had the two choices? We've got domain on the left, and see how the example is just the domain, word.com or .org or whatever. So let's go over here to the one that I told you was easier to set up, the URL prefix, and we're going to paste in our website address, that primary URL, and then we're going to click continue. It's going to check and see if we are verified on this. So bear with it a second. If it comes up to this screen, it's telling me I need to verify ownership. Prove it. They're saying prove it that you have the rights to see data about this particular website. Now there's a number of different choices here. And the one that they recommend is not the one we're going to choose right now. We're going to choose the one that would be easiest if you are able to log in to a WordPress installation. That's going to be this choice right here where it says HTML tag. So I've gone and clicked on it. It opens up in this accordion. Now it says here, copy the meta tag below and paste it into your site's homepage. It should go into the head section before the first body section. Well, how in the world am I going to do that? And that's what I'm going to show you, and this is why you need access to the WordPress dashboard. Typically, if you log into a WordPress site, usually you go to a location called WP Admin. This is not always the case, but for most WordPress installations, that's the default. You're going to hit enter, and it's going to ask you for a login. If you've logged into your WordPress installation, you're familiar with what this looks like. And so now I've logged into this demo site. And on the back side, I'm going to navigate over here to this left choice called plugins. And this is why you need to have administrator access, because we're going to get this job done by adding a plugin. So here we are at plugins. And what I'd like you to do is go up here to where it says add new. And at that point, we're going to search for a particular plugin called Meta Tag Manager. And we'll take a look, and it's the first choice. Now, if you already, by some chance, have this installed to your WordPress site, it will not give you the choice to install it again. It'll just alert you to the fact, like over here it says active. If I had it installed, it would tell me that. But I don't. Most of you will not have this installed either. So we're going to click Install Now. And once it's done with its installation, it's going to ask me to activate it, which I do. All right, it's going back to our plugins here. Now we can look down, make sure that it's done. There it is, Meta Tag Manager. So this has been added to WordPress, and now it's going to add a choice when I go and edit the home page of the website. So I'm clicking on Pages, all right, and I'm going to look for the home page of the site. Once I find the home page to the site, I'm going to go ahead and click on that in order to open it up in the editor. And so now it's telling me, it's giving me this welcome dialog I'm going to get rid of. You probably will not see that. And we're going to scroll down the home page here. You'll notice down here at the bottom we now have Meta Tag Manager gives us an option to add a meta tag. So let's go back and see what we need to know from Google's instructions. So here again, we are at the HTML tag verification. Now notice Meta says name equals Google site verification. So we're going to go ahead and copy that part. We'll go back over to where it says to add meta tag, and now I'm going to click add. The one other thing that I didn't point out, and I'll go back to point it out, is notice that the type of meta tag here is called a name tag. See where it says meta name equals? And that's going to matter because right here in Meta Tag Manager, it'll ask us to choose a type. First choice is name. And for the name, this is where we plug in the Google site verification. Now, in addition, we've got one other field. If we go back, we'll see that there's an encrypted key here that's unique to your website that Google gives you. And now we'll go back and we are going to paste that in under this content attribute. And now we should be able to click Update. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. And the one thing that I normally do to make sure that this has taken is I'm going to show you very quickly how to go to the home page of your site, and we'll just go here to Artisans of Colorado Visit Site. So this is the home page of the site, and you might not be familiar with this, but there's a way to view what's called the HTML source code of the site. On a Mac, you'd do Mac-U, and on Windows, you would do Control-U, and I just did the wrong one here. So let me try that again. Control-U, and we get all of this lovely HTML code here. I don't want to have to look through everything, so I'm going to do Control-F, which means find on page, and I'm going to type in meta name equals, and I'm going to go to each of these and see, okay, did a tag like the one we're talking about be installed? Now notice here it says meta tag manager, meta name equals Google site verification, content equals, I'm going to trust to my copy and paste that this is correct. Now let me go back to Google Search Console and let's keep our fingers crossed and click on the verify button. And wait just a moment. Notice ownership verified. Now it says to stay verified, don't remove the meta tag from your site's homepage. So if your developer goes in and removes that plugin, you might stop having access to Search Console, but it won't destroy any of your data. You can put the meta tag back in there and have access again. So once you're done, then you can click on Go to Property. And now you notice we've got this overview up here at the top left. Okay, so now we've got a way to be able to get done what we need to get done in Google Search Console. That, again, is the WordPress verification using the HTML tag. Now, this is one of those things where there's a lot of different ways to skin this particular cat. So what I'm going to do is at the end of this video, I'll talk a little bit more about some of the other methods that are used. But that's it for getting a site verified, for getting a WordPress site verified using one of a total of 5 different methods that are available to you in Google Search Console. I hope this video has helped you get the Search Console all set up. Now remember I said that I was showing you a common way to verify a WordPress website in Search Console. Truth is that method doesn't always work, and it won't work if you don't have a WordPress website. But there's a solution. Google has provided 4 other verification methods. If you want to learn about the others, check out our Google Search Console Introductory course in the Members section of the Search Engine Academy. There's a link below in the description, or just go to members.searchengineacademy.com. Plus, if you need some tips on how to get the most out of Search Console, I'll also put some links in the description below the video that are going to help you out. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and again, please remember to like and subscribe. That tells Google that there's some value in this video, and they'll show it to other people who are trying to figure out Search Console and a lot of other things just like you are. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.